Detective Norman, can I join you? Sorry for the delay, but I didn't want anybody seeing me, if you know what I mean.
What can I get you, sir?
Just a coffee.
Coming right up.
It's not my habit to sit with people like you.
Got a business proposition for you, Detective.
I ain't no businessman. And even if I were, I wouldn't be doing business with the likes of you.
I don't usually do business with your kind either. But this is a bit of a strange deal. Good for you and your superiors, and good for me. It concerns a certain kind of trade.
Trade?
Well, let's just say that I hold a high position in a not-so-legal organization. It's just the kind of organization people such as yourself would like to know a lot about. And I, on the other hand, for certain reasons, don't want...
Your coffee, sir.
Thanks. I have my own personal reasons why I don't want to be associated with this organization. It ain't too easy to leave this kind of business, if you know what I mean.
I think I know where you're coming from. You'll get a bullet in your head if you don't disappear quickly, right?
That's not the only reason. Got any kids, Detective? I've got a wife and daughter. I don't want them to have any problems because of me.
Yeah, well, I ain't just gonna hand out protection to any wop crook. You should have thought about them kids before, 'cause I...
Sure. Listen, I don't want something for nothing. So here's the deal. Does the name Salieri mean anything to you?
Salieri? It damn well does. You got something in common with him?
You could say that. I've worked for him for several years. Now he wants to rub me out. If you protect my family and me, I'll tell you everything. Names, dates, accounts, everything. Enough to put him away for life.
I ain't Santa Claus. If I go to the chief with this, I need to know everything you know. And I have to be sure you'll testify in court.
Sure. If you ain't in a hurry, I'll tell you my whole story. And all the deals I worked on over the years.
Okay. I've got time, and I'm listening.
I used to be a taxi driver. Even though I wasn't making much and I worked from dawn to dusk, I was glad to be working. It was a bad time and some other people were worse off than me. It was that very taxi that drew Salieri's people to me in the first place. One day I was on my break and I was just hanging out. Suddenly I heard a tremendous crash.
Sam! They got me! Damn it!
Climb up and move. There's a taxi. We'll be okay.
It was clear to me that these guys had to get out of there fast, so I thought it was best to cooperate, rather than ending up with a hole in my head.
Move it. Come on.
Where to?
Anywhere! Fast! Hope you're damn fast! Faster than Sam here was.
I burned rubber out of there like a bat out of hell. It didn't matter where, just away from those gentlemen who were chasing my new customers.
Now listen carefully.
Oh, here we go.
Gotta shake these clowns behind us.
Hey everybody.
Then we're done for.
Oh, this is Matthew, and we're here with a little game called Mafia. And we just
I don't wanna die!
won the first mission in the game pretty easily because that guy got knocked over. Anyway, welcome to this Let's Play of a game that I adore.
Good work, brother. Now take us to Salieri's bar. I'll
A
show you
very
the way.
a very talkative game that I adore. It's called Mafia, and it came out in I think around 2004. and it's a game that's inspired by a lot of movies, and it's really great and really awesome, and I love it a lot. And it's one of the games that I think I'm really going to enjoy actually playing, though I suspect there's going to be a ton of parts in this one, and not like the last playthrough I did, which was a Far Cry, where there was 12 parts, and I hated my entire life through every single moment of those parts. I think I'm going to enjoy most of this game. I think that if you go too fast, they start commenting on you going too fast. But this game is Mafia, as I said 3 times now. But it is open world, kind of action shooter game with what is probably one of the best stories, at least in gaming in this kind of era. It was compared a lot to one of its contemporaries, kinda like to Grand Theft Auto 3. So in that game, not sure really what the story was. I know it's sort of like a mafia kind of gang war or something in Grand Theft Auto 3, but this game has a semi-intricately woven story, though, you know, compared to games now and like, you know, movies and TV and stuff, it's not really that great. But anyway, you play as a guy named Tommy Angelo, who is a almost too nice gangster who gets, you know, kind of mixed up with these really bad dudes. And these really bad dudes are these guys. That's Sam on the left, and that's Paulie in the back right, and that's me, Tommy, honking the horn.
Where do you think you're going?
I'm going. Don't kill me, please, man. And this guy right here is a phone box that I'm gonna be hitting probably a ton in the game. But anyway, we're gonna be doing this game, and it's gonna be great. And hopefully this won't retroactively destroy my memories of it, but we'll see. So here we go.
Finally, we're home. Wait here, friend. Sam will get you a little something from Mr. Salieri. Thanks for your help.
Mr. Salieri would like to thank you as well as myself and Paulie. It's compensation for the damage to your car and your services. It should be enough.
Yes, of course. Thanks. Give my regards to Mr. Salieri.
Mr. Salieri wants you to know that he is very grateful to you. If you ever need anything, you can come back and ask for help, because Mr. Salieri doesn't forget about friends who have helped him out. If you're interested, maybe we could find a job for you here, and it would pay well. We always have positions for guys as good as you.
Okay, okay. I'll think about it. Thanks, really thanks. I'd better go to fix the car and so on.
All right, I understand. Just think about it. And I hope it's clear that this matter is only between ourselves. You take care, kid.
When I opened the envelope, I almost had a heart attack. There was more than it would cost to do the repairs, but I didn't for a minute think about their offer. I didn't want to join some criminals, even if they had all the money in the world. It's better to be poor and alive than rich and dead, right? I was going to get my cab repaired and try to forget it all as soon as possible. As my mother always said, you can never predict what God has in store for you.
There's some really great writing in this game. It's one of the things I really appreciate about it. One thing I also appreciate about the game is the driving in it, which is actually really interesting. You notice on the right hand side here, there's a 40 there. I just put on a speed limiter. Handy feature in this game, which you don't get in real life, which is kind of funny. Hey, I'm driving here. Get out of the way, you maniac. Anyway, this guy really not a great driver compared to me, driving over a grassy median like that and spinning out in the first few seconds of playing. This is going well. Driving in this game is really cool because it's very realistic. In the game, you're supposed to stop at red lights. Only really if there's a cop around. If there's not a cop around, you kind of feel free just to drive straight through because, you know, F the police, like, I guess, whatever. Basically, it's meant to be kind of the antithesis of GTA 3, which I may have said before, but the rules of the road in this game also kind of slows it down, and we're going to be cheating a little bit later on to sort of make things, that was risky, make things go a little faster, but I'll show you that when we get to it. It's going to be a little while until we can do that, really. Actually, no, we can do that in the first mission, actually, coming up. So, I guess you'll be seeing that pretty soon, actually. I also want to apologize ahead of time for doing this, which is bringing up the map. Lost Haven is a place that I know, like, the back of my right foot. But the problem is that I have a terrible sense of direction. So for me, even though the compass up there in the top left-hand corner is pointing me in the right direction to go, I still need to check the map in order to make sure that I can actually get to where I'm going.
Drop me off here at the steps.
Okay. So we gotta be a good cabbie right now, and we gotta pick up a series of about 4 different passengers, and then after that we get to our first kind of real mission. And
Are you
I don't know.
I need to go to the hospital. You are.
No problem.
Yeah, get in. I'm not gonna make your condition worse by crashing a bunch. Remember, when you're about to turn, you gotta put your signal on, check your mirror, and then your blind spot, and then you go. Since becoming a driver, I've noticed that my driving in this game has improved a little bit, but during some test recordings, which I subsequently lost because of issues with fraps, I learned that talking and driving aren't exactly good things to do. It got me into a lot of accidents, so yeah, that was kind of funny to see that in action, I guess. People on cell phones when they drive, freaking nuts. You can always tell the people who are doing it. And we're gonna cross right there. Other things to mention about the game right now, little tiny UI things, I guess. That was a bad turn. Little UI things, I guess, is top left-hand corner is our compass and also sort of our map. The map shows us a bunch of different things. Namely, it shows us what cars are around us. The green cars are civilian cars, so it's just, you know, just civvies or whatever in them. Yield right away to people. Alright. Civilian cars you can basically steal if you want. You can just grab people and chuck them out of it. Sometimes you'll see parked cars, and usually those are white, and on the map there. Also the cars that you steal are white. They turn white. Blue cars are cops. Yellow cars are street cars, like that guy right there, so public transportation. So you gotta really be careful of those ones too, because if you get hit by that, you lose a good 30-40 points of health or something. Yeah, it's really cool. Like, I like this first mission in the game because you really get a chance to go around the city. You get to see almost everything, even though big chunks of the game are kind of blocked off right now. So, you know, it's kind of nice to get a little introduction to Lost Haven. Oh, alright. And to learn a little bit about the city's geography and stuff. And, you know, meet some colorful characters. You can even do taxiing if you want in the game's free ride mode, which is pretty cool.
Thanks. Here's the fare.
Some people here might know that this game was not the only game in the Mafia series.
I'm lucky you're here.
I'm
I
very
need to
lucky
get to
we're
the
here.
theater on Central Island. Take the Giuliano Bridge so that we can get there quickly.
Whatever
Alright.
you want.
Alright, lady. Gonna take the Giuliano Bridge. She's gonna yell at me for not taking the Giuliano Bridge because we're going to go right there. You'll see in a minute. Anyway, Mafia 2, not a great game. Kind of disappointing. I may have talked about it before in the past, a little bit. I also wrote a small article, I remember one time, talking about the use of the term fuck in it, which I find pretty bad, like kind of distasteful even, but it is a, gangster movie, gangster game, so you kind of expected a little bit of swearing, but it got to the point in that game where the script suffered because of it, so that was kind of a funny thing. Just like Toronto, you gotta really park your butt when TTC streetcars have stopped. Anyway, so I'm lucky because we haven't hit anybody, nor have we had any major crashes yet. So maybe my driving really has improved. It's exciting to know. What else is there to say? Yeah, so this game's based in like kind of New York kind of ish city, I guess. Someone can correct me if I'm wrong on that, which I might be. Second game was more of like a Hollywood Hills kind of area, I guess, and it took place in the I think it took place all the way from the 40s to the 70s or something, or 50s to the 70s, and then the new game is taking place even later than that, but it's going to be in the south of United States. So I don't know, the game series has kind of had a little bit of a rough time, Mafia 2 being kind of lackluster, but this game's always here, and this game is freaking amazing, so always got this to sort of look back on. The guys who made this game didn't really go on to do much after, though, which is kind of a weird thing. Immediately, I mean, they made a game called Hidden and Dangerous, I think, and that game wasn't very good, from what I remember. They also made Mafia 2, which wasn't that great either, so still,
Here's the money. Goodbye.
I think we got 2 more guys to go, and we're good. Really appreciate the world in this game.
Could you take me to Hoboken, the Pompeii bar?
Sure thing.
Alright.
Get in.
You might notice that the graphics seem to have taken a bit of a hit while recording right now, and it has because Windows 10 really... Hey, get off the street. Windows 10 really hates this game. The strange thing, though, is I was playing this game not too long ago, and I was able to get it to work perfectly on this computer, but now it's just... Yeah, it took the better part of, I don't know, 2-3 hours to get it to work and stuff. It involved downloading a bunch of patches and things like that, so... Apparently turning on anti-aliasing, whatever it is, crashes the game horribly, so that's why things look kind of jaggedy. But still, able to record in 60 frames per second, because this is a super old game, which is nice. So hopefully we can keep this game looking pretty good. You'll notice, again, I mentioned before, the speed limiter set to 40. It's one of those things in this game where, because there are traffic rules that you have to follow, it kind of slows the game up a little bit. It does give it more of a realistic feel, which is nice, but at the same time, it's nice when you get the chance to speed. Like out in the countryside, you get to go really fast. So that's always good. In the cities, you kind of have to follow the rules of the road, even though most of the other drivers won't actually do that. Or they do, kind of to a fault. And we're not going to follow the rules, because I got a shortcut.
Can't you steer?
Nope, can't.
Ouch. What are you driving like
No,
this for?
no, it's fine, don't worry. No, it's okay, I'm a cabbie, it's alright, I know what I'm doing.
What are you driving like this for?
If you piss off this guy enough, he will get out of the car, and then you lose the mission, which is not good. One thing too is the cars are actually very interesting kind of beasts on their own in this game, in that if you shoot a front tire, suddenly your car loses all traction. Doesn't really matter what tire you hit, really, actually. But, it's interesting that you can do that. You can also shoot the gas tanks on those cars,
Keep the change.
and then the gas will eventually run out. It's not like you really get to experience what that's like or what happens with that. Here comes this guy.
I need to get to the
because there's no
department store
multiplayer,
car lot in
but-
Little Italy. Can you take me there?
Yeah, we can
No
get there.
problem. Get in.
Get in, bro. We're gonna go.
Go across the Giuliano Bridge
It's
and
the
then
cops.
through the tunnel. It's the shortest way.
You gotta be careful of the cops in this game. Much like all the other kind of games like this, they will chase you like crazy if you make even the littlest mistake. They'll come right after you. You can go speeding 45 in a 40 zone. The entire game is a 40 zone. Or if you speed, they'll chase you and they'll try to crash into you, which is ridiculous. Or you can, jeez. Oh, just saw that guy got hit. In real life that'd be horrible, but in this game it's kind of silly actually. Yeah, they'll chase you if you mess up. So don't mess with the cops in this game.
I said over the Giuliano Bridge. Don't you know
Hey.
which one that is?
Don't tell me where to go. I know what I'm doing. I'm Tommy Angelo. I am the best taxi cab driver in all of Lost Haven. Anyway, for this game, I think I mentioned before too, but I'm going to reiterate it. I'm not going to talk during cutscenes. I'll let the cutscenes sort of talk for themselves. Gameplay, I'll narrate a little bit, not too much. Might cut out things here or there, maybe drives to certain places because they're a little bit far. But can be trying to do as full of a let's play as possible of this game. One thing I'm looking really forward to doing is after the game's story is done, I'm going to do a little bit of Free Ride Extreme. So this game, unlike 2 and 3 will probably have it. It has what's called a free ride mode, which basically opens up all of Lost Haven to you to just drive like a madman and just go nuts on the city. Really cool. You can buy weapons, you can kill people for money and stuff like that, so that's interesting. What else is there? But in Free Ride Extreme is really cool though, because you basically go through the game, the free ride mode, but there are quests, and like really interesting quests too. So you can get through that and get some really cool cars. Ooh. Really cool cars which you can collect and you can put in sort of Tommy's little tiny hideout in the game. So I'm going to be going through that and trying to see just how many cars I can sort of get in Free Ride Extreme. Can't promise I'll get all of them because some of them have quests which are pretty insane. There's one where you have to go from like these like race car from race car to race car from race car to race car, like going all over the city doing it. And it's a quest that takes like 10 minutes. It's super nuts. Got a bit of a traffic jam. If you go over 40 miles per hour, which is different for me because we're a kilometer, we're not like those crazy Americans who use their imperial system. You can actually honk and then cars will get out of the way. But that's only useful if you're speeding around basically. So otherwise, it doesn't make much of a difference. Anyway, we're almost there. This guy is going to be our last passenger. And you have no idea how much I want to take off the limiter right now and just speed my way there. But I know as soon as you do that, a cop car is going to show up. And they'll ticket you and then it's game over basically. Don't turn. Yeah, no. So one thing I tried before, and this is something I'm going to do again, because I'm a cool guy, is I'm gonna back into a space. So we're gonna pick a space, and we're gonna get in there. So let's say this one that the lady's going in, right? We're gonna go for that space. So you go 2 ahead, turn your wheel all the way, crash into that car, and yeah, that turned out perfectly, didn't it?
This should cover it.
No
Keep
one
the
said this
change.
game was super
I need
realistic.
a coffee break. I had a cup of coffee and relaxed in the car. While I was waiting to see if I could get another customer, I noticed I wasn't far from Salieri's bar. Jesus.
We got you, you little rat. Mr. Morello's pretty angry with you. We're gonna have to teach you a little lesson so you remember that it ain't right.
Those bastards remembered the license plate of my car and took it on themselves to hunt me down.
Lou here'll fix your face a little.
So Tommy's gotta run for his life away from these dudes because they got
It was clear to me
guns.
that I had to get out of there
Oh,
fast. I couldn't
if
handle that animal on my
I
own.
just took a lot of
I said to
damage there.
myself that now was probably the
Okay,
right moment for Mr.
Tommy,
Salieri to show his
shut up.
gratitude.
Stop talking.
Salieri's bar was just down the street.
Yeah, I know,
The sight of it
Tommy.
was certainly a lot nicer than a baseball
If you stop
bat to my
talking, you
head.
might not get shot that much. If you, in this game, the combat is not bad. I don't know. You'll see a little bit later on and stuff. But if you serpentine, most of the times enemies can hit you. I'm taking a lot of damage though. But yeah, this first mission was something that really frustrated me when I was younger playing the game. Like, it was something that took forever to sort of get done. And you can kill the dudes who are behind me, but it breaks the game if you do. Kind of, this entire area is meant to show you that the game world is kind of alive, which is kind of cool. Also, I noticed this guy keeps peeing. Yeah. Anyway, something's happened to the dudes behind me because they're not following me anymore. This kind of establishes that this world is meant to be alive. There's meant to be people out, you know, fixing cars, standing around, smoking, all that sort of stuff. But I don't know. It creates strangely the illusion of an alive world better than Mafia 2 did, which is really weird. And I'm dead, which is perfect. And we're gonna try this again. But it creates the illusion of a living world more than Mafia 2, which came out like 10 years after this game or something. Maybe not 10 years, but gotta really fact check the things that I say. But yeah, I don't know. It's strange. Like the game world in this one has like a lot of personality, and it comes from how, you know, simply things are designed, how interesting they look, and just, you know, just you know, having like nice little textures like that, like Rose Bar, seeing hotels and stuff, even though you see a ton of those things everywhere. Also, the Chinese laundry is something that you see all the time, everywhere in this game. But you know, little touches like that make this game feel way more alive. And peeing dudes too kind of help. What else is there? Exploding barrels, which actually don't explode when you shoot them, which always kind of pisses me off, but whatever. The music is also pretty good. And unfortunately, this is the only time you ever hear this track. Yeah. The weird thing too, though, in this game is that I don't think that these alleyways actually exist when you go into the regular game world. I'm pretty sure they just disappear after this. So that's a little bit of a strange thing. But there are little nooks and crannies you can go into and hide in the game. So you can also punch people and stuff if you want. Punch cars. Come here, punch your car, man. But right now we're gonna.
Got a handful of nothing. Well, I'm doing okay. I'm living in a great.
Salieri's boys saved my skin that time, but I certainly wasn't in a good situation. I had paid off my debts for the car repairs, but my boss didn't want to employ anyone who's in the mob. It just wasn't good business. When I saw the fancy getup of Salieri's boys, I thought that it can't be too bad to work for them. Besides, I had nothing to lose. Morello was out to get me, so driving a cab wasn't the best job. Plus, the prospect of Salieri's dough wasn't so terrible. So like I always say, better to die young and loaded.
Well, it looks like Morello is really trying to make me mad. But I'm a reasonable person. What do they call you, son?
Thomas Angelo.
I've decided to give you a shot, Tommy. I like new faces. We're one big family here. You already know Paulie and Sam? Frank here is my right hand and looks after the legal side of our business. The one behind the bar is Luigi. This business ain't easy to swallow, but Luigi's a wonderful cook. Paul will introduce you to Vincenzo and Ralph. There are a lot of us, but those should be enough for now. Now listen, and listen good. We have some rules around here. Don't cross paths with the cops. They're on our payroll, so they'll leave you alone. But if you go too far, they'll all come after you. Money or no money. If they ever pick you up, say nothing, and I will take care of you. I show my gratitude to those people that helped me, and there aren't many left who betrayed me. Capiche?
Yes, Mr. Salieri.
I'm glad. Today I'll give you a chance to get back at those bastards who wrecked your taxi. We'll see what you're made of. Morello has a bar where all his gorillas go. They all have their cars parked behind the fence next to the bar. If you're good, they won't be there tomorrow morning. Paulie'll go with you just in case. Go see Vincenzo for equipment and Ralph for some wheels.
I wouldn't trust him so much. He seemed hesitant. He's just accepting now because he has no choice.
We'll see, Frank. We'll see. I'm more concerned about what Morello's problem is. Does he really want to start a war?
Vincenzo's the Don's gun expert. They've known each other since they were kids. Can get you whatever you want. Tommy guns to cannons. Then he can set you up. I always pay him a visit before a job. Buongiorno, Vincenzo.
Ciao, Paulie.
This here's Tom. Just started up with us.
Pleased to meet you, Tom. What can I do for the both of you?
We got a job to do. We need something to write off a few cars.
This classic piece of sports equipment should do the job, and if not, I've mixed up a few cocktails. Careful with them, though.
Thanks a lot, Vincenzo.
Bring back the bat. It's my nephew's.
Sure thing. Ralph will introduce you to is a complete idiot, but he's got a special way with cars. I don't get how such a moron could know anything about anything. But that's the way it goes sometimes.
Visit. How you all doing, Paulie?
Hey, Ralphie.
Yeah, I see you're still limping, so we got two cripples working here.
That's right, but I ain't a fool. Ralph, this is Tom. If you bring him a stolen car, Tommy, I'll make it your own, and no one will know the difference. Ralph, Tom and me have a job to do. You're supposed to have some wheels for us?
Right. Here it is. It ain't no hot rod, but it should really do for you.
Thanks, Ralphie. Let's go.
Alright, we got our first mission for the Dawn. And, ooh, it's a bit of a doozy. Gotta say, we gotta blow up a bunch of cars. And that's not gonna be any fun for anybody, really. Oh, shit! Damn, jeez. Let me through, let a man through, guys.